Nvidia's rise was super quick.
Record highs, record closes for the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ as Nvidia hits a record of its own.
Another day, another record for Nvidia.
If you look at when ChatGPT was first announced, that was the fall of 2022. So it's a really, really fast rise in a very short amount of time.
Apple took 1,793 days, or less than 5 years, to go from a $1 trillion company to a $3 trillion company. Nvidia says, hold my beer. They did the same thing, 1 to 3 trillion, in less than a year.
When ChatGPT came out, Nvidia was worth less than $1 trillion. Then 6 months, 7 months after ChatGPT, in May of 2023, it hit $1 trillion. And at the time, people were starting to realize that if AI was a gold rush, Nvidia was the one making the shovels. The Nvidia craze just never stopped. It hit $2 trillion in February of this year.
It's been an absolute incredible run, but it has been absolutely backstopped by the fundamentals.
6-8 months later, its value has already doubled. And then from $2 trillion, it only took just over 3 months for it to hit $3 trillion.
It's really tough to get to 3 trillion. That said, though, if you're designing the perfect momentum company from scratch, Nvidia would be it.
They're making a lot of money for each one of the chips they sell. These are very profitable devices.
We see the orders for GB200. We see the orders for the B200. Nothing is slowing down.
There may not be a chip that's really competing or challenging its flagship H100 or the forthcoming GB200.
Nvidia is perhaps the best example of a corporation that embodies the possibilities afforded by the rapid adoption of artificial intelligence, AI. Before generative AI erupted early last year, its graphics processing units, GPUs, were already the gold standard for handling previous iterations of AI. Since these developments demanded far more processing power than its predecessors, Nvidia stepped up to the plate and soon established itself as the industry standard for powering cutting-edge AI performance. The outcome has been nothing short of spectacular, a parabolic surge in stock price. Over the previous year, Nvidia saw a 147% increase, and over the previous 3 years, it saw gains of 478%. According to a Wall Street analyst, Nvidia's stock still has a lot of room to grow. By 2030, the analyst projects further increases of 259%. Lead tech analyst and CEO of I/O Fund, Beth Kindig, has a strong background covering Nvidia. She maintained in 2018 that Nvidia would have an unstoppable advantage in the upcoming wave of AI applications due to the power and efficiency of its cloud GPUs, creating an impenetrable moat. Kindig continued by saying that the company's future growth depended on developers using Nvidia's platform. After a few years, Kindig's forecasts have shown to be remarkably accurate. Kindig also anticipated that Nvidia would perform light years ahead of the competition due to its continuous focus on research and development, R&D. Wall Street pays attention to Kindig's talks on Nvidia because of her past success. Nvidia momentarily surpassed Apple and Microsoft to take the top spot in the world's market capitalization rankings last month, rising to $3.3 trillion. However, the business has since retreated. According to Kindig, Nvidia's stock still has a lot of upside and that its market capitalization will surpass $10 trillion by 2030. We'll talk about target projections and advice in today's video, so make sure not to miss out. However, before you do, if you'd like to stay up to date on Nvidia's most recent updates and the most recent news from the stock market, you can subscribe to our channel. We publish daily updates about the biggest shifts in market catalysts, so click the bell icon button to ensure you don't miss the most recent updates. All right, back to today's video.
I mean, you saw this from a mile away years back, and now here we are, and yet it seems that most on the street are still underestimating what this company is able to deliver. What do you think surprised many the most from this specific earnings report?
Hi, David and Yvonne. That's a great question. Headline numbers is not actually what moved this stock after hours. It was up, 1, 2, 3%. And in fact, at times it was selling off. It was really during the call when management highlighted key points about the Blackwell architecture. So the Hopper architecture is what got us this far. That's 90 billion annualized run rate on the data center. Moving forward, what's going to keep this stock extending? That's what analysts wanted to know. We put a note out prior to earnings that it would be the Blackwell architecture. Now, this Blackwell architecture, just to break it down for you, is the B100, the B200, and it greatly improves on memory. It also has something called NVLink, and there's a GB200, which combines 72 GPUs for one exascale computer. I know that's a lot of semiconductor jargon. It's really hard to avoid that with NVIDIA, but the takeaway is that the Blackwell architecture that is coming will exceed the Hopper architecture that we've already seen drive these sales, and it will hit as soon as Q2, full ramp by Q4. That was stated on the call. That's when you saw the price, stock price reverse after hours.
Can you give us some just your initial calculations of just how it could contribute to earnings? I mean, data centers already make up about 85% of total revenues. Is that likely to continue? Could that ramp up much further?
Yes. So we're really very early to AI acceleration. And so Hopper drove that 90 billion that we see. We are foreseeing a $200 billion data center segment by the end of calendar year 2025. And the management team today insinuated and gave hints that that could happen, because what they said is that Blackwell will deploy with over 100 OEMs, which is 2 times broader and faster than Hopper, which deployed with 50 OEMs. So if you can imagine, you're hearing all these comments from management on the call, and it's clearly indicating that the Blackwell architecture, the second generation basically of these very high in demand generative AI GPUs, is going to be a step up from what has been deployed. So the translation here is that Hopper gave us 90 billion annual run rate. What will the Blackwell give us? And that's when you started to see this extremely bullish price action after hours. This is a stock that's run hard and fast, and now it's up, 5-6% after hours. People are getting excited to think about how the year will end now that this second release is coming out. And if I can, the other key point here is that NVIDIA is shortening its product cycle from 2 years to 1 year. They've never done this before. It's bold, and it's very important to do right here, right now, because it allows them to continue to grow on top of this already phenomenal growth.
The main focus of AI adoption thus far has been on training systems such as ChatGPT. This is only the beginning, though, as these models must subsequently be used, a process known as inference, to finish the tasks for which they were trained. Kindig contends that opportunities and competition will rise when the emphasis moves from instruction to inference. Currently, Nvidia is thought to have 98% of the market for AI training, leaving its competitors with meager share. It is anticipated that a significant portion of AI processing will eventually shift from the cloud to the actual devices, creating more opportunities for competition. Compute Unified Device Architecture, CUDA, a proprietary software platform used by developers to optimize the performance of NVIDIA's GPUs, is largely responsible for NVIDIA's present success. Although the exact size of the AI opportunity is unknown, projections for the adoption of generative AI are steadily rising. The market might expand to between $2.6 trillion and $4.4 trillion yearly, according to conservative forecasts from international management consulting company McKinsey & Company. Given Kindig's history with NVIDIA stock, she is definitely deserving of a pass. Premier Cho Jong-tai of Taiwan has unveiled a comprehensive strategy for social and economic transformation that is expected to draw in around $100 billion in investment. This follows former President Donald Trump's statement that Taiwan ought to foot the bill for our military. Infrastructure, artificial intelligence, and energy would be the main focuses of the reform proposal. Premier Cho stated in an interview with Nikkei Asia that the government wants to take advantage of the trend of Taiwanese investors becoming disillusioned with doing business in China. The strategy aligns with President Lei Ching-ti's goals of strengthening Taiwan's international standing, investigating the ocean and space sectors, and fostering a more intelligent and progressive form of sustainability. So what does this really mean for Nvidia's stock? Let's find out, but first, if you made it this far into the video, thank you. These videos take a lot of effort and time to make, so if you enjoyed them, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. This goes a long way in helping us grow. That said, back to the video. AI remains worth watching segment for global investors in 2024. But how do you keep up with the AI sector and others that you may be interested in? I recommend trying Moomoo, a sponsor of today's video. Some features to discover stocks with investment potential has blown me away. You can use the industry chain to find companies throughout the entire AI sector, or use the stock screener to filter stocks according to your investment strategy. Having the option to set parameters like industry, market indicators, financial indicators, technical indicators, and more. Ultimately, discover potentially undervalued stocks and those that appear to show buy signals to help inform your strategies in an effort to capitalize on AI-related opportunities. At the same time, Moomoo is one of the cheapest trading platforms I've found. It offers zero commission on stocks, options, and ETFs. After comparisons, I've discovered the fees are among the lowest. Right now, new users who open an account using my link and make a qualified deposit can get up to 15 free stocks. Enjoy a limited time 8.1% APY on idle cash for 3 months and earn up to $300 cash reward for transferring in their portfolio. These rewards can be earned together, so don't miss out. And thanks again to Moomoo for sponsoring this portion of the video.
Management discussed that about 40 to 50% is coming from cloud service providers. They also break out consumer internet companies. They also break out companies like Tesla. And I think they're doing that because of the concern that you just voiced. And you are absolutely correct about the valuation, which is that when you have that 300% revenue growth, 600% earnings growth, the valuation keeps getting cheaper and cheaper, even as the price goes up. So what we've seen is very attractive valuation. And again, that goes back to, if we continue to see upward revisions based on Blackwell, very confident we will, that's where those revisions are going to be bought.
Right. Okay, so we're at 1,000 now. What's the price target, Beth?
Give me a year. Next year or 2030?
Give us both.
We have modeled 65% upside based on Blackwell by the end of 2025, calendar year 2025. By 2030, this company should be minimum 10 trillion in revenue, maybe higher. So we have a long runway with Nvidia.
Right.
This is because we're in the AI economy now. So many people think this is going to end soon. It's not. This is the very, very beginning. Can't stress that enough. Multi-generational investment opportunity. Many Chinese companies are benefiting. Baidu, Tencent, great earnings reports coming from AI. NVIDIA is the AI infrastructure, but we're seeing a lot of beneficiaries, and I would encourage people to pay very close attention to that.
Yeah, Beth, just to clarify, you mentioned 10 trillion. You mentioned revenue. Do you mean market cap, or do you actually mean revenue?
I'm sorry, I meant market cap.
Okay.
Gotcha. I was going to ask you about the AI economy, because you flagged that Qualcomm. This is an interesting company. You said it could become the star when it comes to AI PCs. Can you tell us sort of what you're projecting?
For Qualcomm, I would hesitate to call it the star of AI PCs, because what's going on with Qualcomm is they have an ARM license basically through the end of this year. And so they have a little bit of an open window right now to push forward this ARM-based PC, although they're primarily a mobile company. And so what you'll start to see when that exclusive license runs out is AMD and Nvidia are prepared to release ARM-based PCs in the first quarter of 2025. I think AI-savvy folks looking for an ARM-based PC are probably going to wait for AMD and Nvidia. They are clearly the de facto companies when it comes to computing power. So I think that Qualcomm has its hands full with competing with the two top design companies in the world.
The urgency has increased since Nvidia, the top producer of AI chips globally, along with Foxconn Technology Group, Apple Incorporated's largest contract manufacturer and iPhone assembler, and Supermicrocomputer Incorporated, a server manufacturer, revealed intentions to construct new AI data centers or supercomputers in Taiwan. TSMC and other chip manufacturers are also increasing their capacity. Taiwan is currently negotiating difficult geopolitical and economic issues, so the news is timely. The recent withdrawal of U.S. President Joe Biden from the presidential campaign caused key Taiwanese companies' shares, including TSMC, to decline. This emphasizes how unstable and susceptible Taiwan's market is to developments in global politics. Concerns regarding the future of U.S. assistance have been raised by former President Donald Trump's recent remarks that Taiwan should foot the bill for its defense. Moreover, Taiwan's infrastructure is under strain due to the quick development of AI technology. In order to fulfill the needs of AI computing, Chief Telecom's President Jackie Liu has advocated for a complete redesign of data centers, underscoring the pressing need for infrastructure upgrades. Additionally, President Lei Ching-te has publicly expressed gratitude for continued foreign investment in Taiwan, highlighting the role that foreign investment plays in maintaining Taiwan's technological superiority. With all of these considerations, Nvidia is unquestionably a great buy, especially if you're looking to invest for the long term because the company hasn't reached its full potential yet. What do you think about Nvidia stock? Is it a good buy at the current price? Please share your opinions with us in the comments section, and don't forget to let us know what you think NVIDIA is worth. If you're interested in learning what other companies like Nvidia have been up to lately, click on the next video on your screen. We'll see you there.